sure my camera is.
I'm mad at you. I am not mad at you.
I'm trying to get y'all the highest quality video, honey, okay? See, that's already better.
Ooh, wait. No.
Listen.
Listen.
Wait.
I hate you for that.
Let me fix it. Hello and welcome back to Let Me Fix It, the podcast that lets us be Olivia Pope from Scandal, except that there's no politics, no murder, and neither of us have Shonda Rhimes money. I'm Franchesca Ramsey.
And I'm DeLon Grant, and you're tuning in to Let Me Fix It, the podcast that says, if you wanna be somebody, if you wanna go somewhere, you better wake up and not stage your own hate crime hoax. Jussie Smollett. And we are crazy excited to have our very first guest on the pod today.
Oh my goodness, yes, you have seen her on Florida Girls, a Black Lady sketch show, Lopez versus Lopez. Miss Mama is booked and busy, okay? But I know her personally and professionally from our work together on the reboot of iCarly. She is the host of the award-winning hit podcast Scam Goddess, coming straight from the congregation's pulpit to the front of the Let Me Fix It classroom. Put your lighters up for my girl, the brilliant, the hilarious Laci Mosley.
Yes, give me a Jamaican air horn from your mouth. Thank you. That introduction was so amazing, Fran. I really appreciate y'all having me on the pod. I'm really excited to be here, truly, honestly. So
we feel the same exact way. We love you so much. Thank you so much for being our very first guest.
I know.
I love it. Inaugural.
Yes.
Past the first anniversary.
So, Laci, I have a quick question for you because we here, Fran and I, Let Me Fix It was on Scam Goddess. Thank you for having us.
That was an amazing episode. Everyone loved you.
Yeah, and my friends were like, wait, you were on Scam Goddess? What?
Oh, yeah.
They love you. So we here at Let Me Fix It, we love everything Laci Mosley. We love everything Scam Goddess. But one thing I didn't get to ask you is is it you singing the opening of your show?
It is.
Girl, Scam Goddess. Come on now.
You know, she's giving us dulcet tones, DeLon. She's giving us these modulations.
But she's also belting her face off. You better get it.
She is.
Thank you. It's been wild. I've been doing live shows, and I start it with devotion because it's my church, and people know the song. I've seen people's babies singing the song, and so we start like Scam. And I laid that in a Earwolf studio. There's no mixing. There's no mastering. I really want to mix it at some point because I feel so bad about it. I laid all the I was trying to do my Beyonce and have the background,
hell yes.
the soprano, the
yes.
alto, the contralto. But thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I was in traffic on Laurel Canyon and it just came to me and I was like, okay, I'm gonna write this down.
Listen, I'm gonna manifest a music video for that.
Ooh, yes,
when
please.
the TV show comes, we need a full music video.
Oh, Lord Jesus. They're not ready for that. I have a very bootleg one. I'll send it to you.
Okay. I can't wait.
It's very goofy.
All right. So, Laci, we love a game on Let Me Fix It. So, DeLon and I put together a little game to play with you, and it is inspired by your brilliant show about all things scams and hot and fraud. So, we thought that we were going to bring you these topics, and then you will help tell us if it is a scam, a deal, or if it's trash. Okay?
Okay.
So first up, a Groupon for teeth whitening, scam, deal, or trash?
Oh, I'm going to say deal because teeth whitening is very expensive.
It sure is.
If me and my homegirl can go in and get it together, come on now.
And when in doubt, just use a TikTok filter. Just kind of click that button.
And the thing about a teeth whitening scam is what's going to happen? My teeth going to be browner when I leave? I can only go up from here.
Yeah, right. I mean, listen, my coffee stained teeth are brown, and I did have a Groupon for teeth whitening. Turns out you have to go back more than once.
Yes.
Not your tongue pink, your teeth brown. No. Your teeth are not brown, DeLon.
Not the sexy red reference.
Listen, she may be a Trump supporter, but it's still ski.
Yeah, the song is a bop. Yes, her politics not so much.
Not a bop, not those.
Okay, next one: credit cards. Scale scam, deal, or trash credit cards?
Scam, and one of the best ones, because if you pay that bitch off, then your credit goes boop, 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 all the way to the ground.
What? It makes no sense.
The formula
interest rates are a scam.
rigged.
The darker your skin, the higher the percentage.
Ooh, talk about that.
And like it's free money in quotes, and then you get sucked in. And obviously, a lot of us are behind the 8 ball in the United States, so it's like, yeah, you put in groceries on your credit card, you put in, your mama needs some new shoes on her car on your credit card. So they're definitely a scam. I wish that we could all just use money that was given to us, but you know, corporations love to get they work on time, but they don't want to pay you your money on time.
Okay. Here's an addendum to that, though. Do we think that the credit card points we earn balance out the scam? Like, is that a deal to the scam? Because listen, I
think the points are a scam, because there's
the points
always
are a scam. Even
the points are scammy because
then you're spending money to get the points.
You're spending money to get money. You can't use the points all the time. There's all these like little things. You can't use the points on Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays after 2 p.m. nights and weekends. Like, what? When do I use the points?
Right,
That's old school Verizon. Like, let me call you after 9 p.m. I can use it on my minutes. Remember when they did that to us? Talk about the minutes. Even though the whole time they knew that we could use our phone at any point, it wasn't going to bring the cell tower down. Minutes were a scam.
Minutes were total. Laci, you just brought me all the way back. Yes,
limited text.
Yes, and now
Scam.
and then who was it? Was it Sprint first who was like unlimited text, unlimited calls, any time of the day? And you're like, yo,
and then Sprint is a scam. So you're not doing Sprint. You need to.
You can do this
Listen,
the whole time.
I like Sprint for this reason. I don't have Sprint, but I do fuck with this scam that they did. Remember that guy who would be like, can you hear me now? Good.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now? As soon as his contract was up, because there was not a non-compete, Sprint picked his ass up and was like, can you hear us now?
Wow.
You can hear us better, huh?
That's the Verizon guy. Yes.
That was
we got a bag.
That was a nice pivot. Okay.
All right, Delon, let's do one more of these before we jump into our episode. Let's try starting to fuck your ex again. Scam, deal, or trash?
Ooh, I'm going to say that's a deal. Because you know what you're getting into. Okay? You know if your ex got good WAP, good BOC, good ping, or whatever. You know what I mean? You know what the apartment's giving. It's not mattress on the floor. You know if they got snacks. You know, it's something familiar. It's it's a risk out here when you try to fuck somebody new, but somebody old, and old is gold sometimes.
It's like riding a bike.
Literally riding a bike with a dildo on it. No, but I also think like there's something familiar about that dildo, right? You're like, oh, I know what this is. I know how we do this. It's comfort. Let's get in it one more time.
We got some little inside jokes. You know, don't put that finger there. You know, you know the things.
You may cry later, but
prep you. I'll have to. Yeah, you're gonna cry later. Now listen, you're gonna listen to a lot of emotional music, and depending on your energy, maybe you're gonna be listening to like some Olivia Rodrigo, or maybe if you're toxic, you're gonna listen to Drake. And Summer Walker. If you a little toxic, but you also still a little sad. And SZA, if you are very depressed. Because when I heard SZA on SOS talking about, you took all my special, I said, I gotta turn this shit off. I am not going, you can't put this in my brain. I am special. There ain't nobody taking my special. Turn it down.
Fran is my SZA interpreter, translator, because I don't know what that girl is saying.
No one knows.
No one. Damn thing.
And I love Friends videos. I can't get enough of Friends videos. Girl, video of Fergie, because why was she doing them cartwheels? But also I relate to that as someone who is permanently doing the most.
Yes. Because Laci will drop it down low. She will do a split. Exactly. I get it. On the one hand, if I could do it, I would do it. But less is more.
But Fran, you were taking the twerking class.
You don't need to do a cartwheel.
No.
But at the same time, I will say this. Nowadays, these girls are just getting on stage in a bust down and a leotard and giving us nothing. And I think I would take Fergie doing cartwheels over the girls giving us absolute, like they're not even, remember Milli Vanilli's lives were ruined because the backing track played and their mouths weren't moving? That is literally all, justice for Milli Vanilli because they actually were scammed by that German man. But also, now that's the industry standard. Like girls put the mic down and the song just playing, and it's not like Beyonce. Her mic is always on. And the only time that she takes the mic from her lips is to be like, okay, y'all sing y'all favorite part just a little bit. And that's enough, y'all off key. And she's back on the mic. But these girls aren't performing at all. It makes me want to get into music. I'm like, I just got to be in the studio. Y'all mix it up, make it cute. I just walk around with my bust down.
I know.
Well, girl, you already wrote Scam Goddess, so shoot.
Yes, it is definitely hard out here for the girlies. And that's why you're setting the standard with the Scam Goddess intro and showing us or everybody how it's done.
Thank you. I want to go to Coachella and just do a set of 15 seconds of that song. Somebody book me.
Claiming that for you. Okay, so let's keep moving.
Yeah, so Laci and Fran, the two of you became friends because you worked together on iCarly, the reboot for Paramount Plus. Fran is a writer and producer on the show, and Laci, you were playing Carly's best friend, Harper Betancourt? Betancourt, excuse me.
And I actually got to choose that name.
Did you really?
Yes. Allie was like, what do you want your last name to be? And the reason I chose it is because Jocelyn Hernandez has a mugshot with a fake ID that's Schnellica Betancourt. And I loved it so much. I was like, it's going to be my own joke.
Well, it's Betancourt. It's giving Nepo baby. It's giving money. It's giving, it's legacy, right? But the two of you really bonded on iCarly and solidified your friendship when Laci, you got a ton of like racial hate and vitriol online because Harper wasn't white, because the original character was white. And I mean, not to, go through your trauma at all, but I just wanted to unpack that because I know that's like a big thing that solidified your relationship together.
Yeah.
Well, Fran fixed me. Like what y'all do on this podcast, Let Me Fix It. I was completely ill-equipped and unprepared for that backlash. And it didn't come, a little bit initially. Like when they released the names, it was no photos, but it was just a deadline, and it said that me and Jaden Triplett were joining the show and that the reboot was happening. And then one person DM'd me who, like, sis looked black. Like, I was like confused a little bit. I was like, "How you call me?"
Self-hatred is a drug.
Ready?
How you call me with a hard R, but you giving me a soft A? I think we both are niggas. What, did I say nigga? Oh my God.
Yes, you can totally
say whatever you want to say.
Both niggas. What you mean? But she was like, "You ruined iCarly, you nigger." And it was just one DM, and I was thinking like, okay, people are weird online, whatever. And so I asked the worst person to ask this to, and not because he's not an amazing person, but because why would he know? So I asked Jerry Trainer. I was like, "Hey Jerry, are y'all fans racist?" A tall white man with a full head of hair. How would he know?
A full head of hair, she said.
He has amazing hair. So I don't know why I did that. But like then when the photos were released, when we were announcing the actual date of the show release, that's when things got really nasty on all platforms, like racist TikToks. They coming at my sister.
What?
Like, yeah, Instagram, Twitter, you name it, wherever. I'm sure if they had my address, they would have mailed me letters. There were people calling my phone and breathing on it. I found out that my address was on the internet. I moved.
Wow.
It was I got the LAPD secret police number, which I was like, I'm black. Why would I ever call the police? But they were like, these are celebrity police. They won't shoot you because that's giving you a little bit of whiteness because you're on TV. Like what?
The fact that you had to do all of that just because you had the nerve to be in a TV show that some kids watched when they were, 12, 13 years old. Yeah.
I was black and I got a job.
Right.
Ugh,
and I mean, I hate that it bonded us, but at the same time, I was so thankful that I was in the room to advocate for you and to say, like, we need to stand up. And the writer's room made a statement in support of you and Jaden. And unfortunately, this happens a lot. Halle Bailey with The Little Mermaid, John Boyega in Star Wars, right? Like, there's all these fantasy franchises. When they add a black person, the fans are like, not in my fantasy. I want no black people to exist.
That's the fantasy. They don't want niggas. That's their fantasy. They're like, wait a minute. Why are you bringing these people in here? But Fran was really amazing because there was a time where I just couldn't look at it anymore. And so I just wasn't, because I was like, this is torture. And I remember maybe like a year ago, I guess I was just curious. I went on Twitter and I looked at some of Fran's old tweets and stuff. And there was because I was trying to cancel her. No, no. There were so many threads where she had come in and checked people, corrected people. She had disseminated so much information about, you know, how I wasn't replacing this character, Sam, or like people were trying to say that the threats and the racism didn't happen because I had like deleted. And then I had a friend take my phone and delete all of the niggers and N-words. And then Miranda taught me how to block every version of the N-word, including like, you know, like N exclamation point, G-E-R, or like if they put a diphthong or if they, you know, use numbers, anything. Like I blocked every version of nigger that you could possibly do. I blocked the monkey emojis. I blocked the gorilla emojis because it just kept happening everywhere. And so then people were like, oh, she's lying. Like I went on her page and I'm not seeing this. And I was talking to my friend Tawny, also a wonderful Black woman, and on Twitter, and I posted some of the screenshots because I took screen caps because like I
saved all of them because you know I love
receipts. Listen, Fran always has a receipt. Always has a receipt.
And that was a thread where I just thought I was talking to Tawny, and then I saw these screen caps where people would be like, "She's lying," and then Fran was like, "Oh, she's lying," and then she would post all these screen caps like, "She's lying about this," like receipts. So Fran was on it. Like I really, you don't know how much I appreciate you, Fran, truly, deeply. Like, and even how you advocated for Harper as a character and a human being in the writer's room and making sure that she wasn't a trope, because I know there was some girlies, and when I say girlies, I'm talking about white men, old white men who was trying to really do me dirty. They were trying to do me dirt. Ice Spice, they were trying to do me dirt.
We have to look out for each other.
And not to completely speak for Fran, but like when excuse me, not to completely speak for Fran, but when she was in like the YouTube space pretty heavily, Decoded, right? That era for you, Fran, was just like riddled with all of that. So like it makes sense that like you were steeled, the death threats, all of it is traumatizing. So I love that you were also like able to be a superhero for someone else, you know?
She stuck her neck out for me and she didn't have to do that. And I was eternally so grateful for you, Fran. I always will be. When you become such a wonderful friend to me.
This feeling is so mutual. We have to be there for each other. And coincidentally, all of this ties into today's episode.
Yeah, so it turns out both of your experiences with online harassment and, you know, are super relevant to today's scam goddess-esque topic with Jussie Smollett hate crime hoax. This is what we're talking about today. So if anyone listening, Jussie Smollett. So if anyone is unfamiliar, in early 2019, actor Jussie Smollett went to the police alleging that he'd been the victim of a hate crime. But the story very quickly fell apart and turned into a huge media frenzy that ended in Jussie being indicted for felony disorderly conduct and making false statements to police.
Jussie's online story then became fodder for right-wing trolls and bigots because to them, it proved that hate crimes are a thing of the past and that if someone comes forward, that they must be embellishing the truth or outright lying. And that led to a lot of us, especially visible Black folks, getting a lot of online hate and harassment in the wake of Jussie's story blowing up.
And the thing that makes the Jussie hoax like so morally repugnant to me is that most hate crimes go unsolved, right? This man was preying on our collective psyche. He had us out here thinking like our worst fears had been realized yet again. And the collective gasp was like, yo, well, if this guy who's a celebrity who has resources and privilege and security had this happen, and I don't have any of that, it's not if, but when it's going to happen to me. And lest we all forget, this happened in 2019, so this is the era of Donald Trump being president, and hate crimes went up, I think, 20% in major cities during the Trump administration.
Laci, have you covered Jussie on Scam Goddess already?
I have not covered him yet. The reason being that we have to worry about being sued.
Oh, fair.
And so because there was not an official ruling, because it wasn't adjudicated, I have to stay away from things that aren't adjudicated. And I can report things that are already, you know, in verifiable newspapers like the Wall Street Journal, The Cut, and, you know, New York Times, whatever. But when it comes to something that is a little heavier in speculation, especially because he's so litigious, I had to kind of shy away from it. So I was so happy when you said that he was the topic, because I'm gonna gag out because I have some tea that I didn't know that I have.
Well, I mean, listen, there has been a verdict. We are going to talk about this in the scope of what happened, what was reported, how we feel about it, but then also, most importantly, we're going to look at his whole career. So we are going to dig into his career, how he went from popping and locking on Empire to getting locked up for a hate crime hoax. And then we're going to see if we can fix his career. What would it take to get Jussie back in the public's good graces? Could he have a comeback? We're not really sure, but we are going to figure it out. So without further ado, Jussie Smollett, let's fix it.
Okay, Jussie Smollett was born on June 21st, 1982. For the record, we're out here
going back to his birth.
Yes.
We just listen. We need
So he a Gemini? Is that what I'm gathering?
You are
better at Gemini behavior.
Is that the two faces? Right, that's the two faces.
You're better at it than I am because I did not know his astrological sign.
You said June 20 what?
June 21st.
Yeah,
82.
I believe that's still a Gemini because it creeps over into Cancer at the end of June, but that's still a Gemini, yeah.
Well, he's
wearing behavior.
He's got many a mask, that one.
Yeah.
But we're all here calling him Jesse. At least I'm calling him Jesse, but it's actually Jussie, like rhymes with hussy. You know,
let the record show I've always called him Jussie. and hussy, that's the rhyme that you're choosing.
I mean, is it wrong?
Is it wrong? I mean, fussy,
I'm
slushy.
still calling him Juicy.
Listen, and that's also the hard part because the man is beautiful. I mean, delicious.
He's a good-looking man. We cannot. No one can lie about that.
Okay, so the two of you are comedians. I said what I said. I'm sticking with hussy. So Jussie rhymes with Jussie Smollett. He was born in Santa Rosa, California, but he spent time between California and New York growing up, eventually landing in LA when he was about 7 years old. A factoid, Jussie comes from a whole family of actors, and they all have J names. I don't know why we do this in the world. Why do we do this?
I love it.
I like it.
Presumably,
branding. I'm branding my children, okay? Out the womb. Y'all got to get to work immediately. Once we get that placenta off of you, baby, it's time to get to employment.
She said, I have your W-2 form here.
Yes.
So they all have J names. I assume that's because their parents' names are Joel and Janet. The kids are Jake, Joqui, Jojo, Jazz, and most notably his sister Journey, who you might know from Lovecraft Country, and Eve's Bayou.
So Jussie's first major role was in Disney's The Mighty Ducks in the 90s. Loved that movie. But he actually first began his career in entertainment as a child model. Then in 1994, when Jussie was 13, he starred in a show with his IRL siblings on ABC called On Our Own. Have you seen this show before?
No. Watched a clip of it for this episode, like an episode on YouTube, and I vaguely remember it, but it is...
I know Patti LaBelle. My own. That's all I know. That's all I know.
So this show revolves around 7 siblings who were orphaned in a tragic accident, leaving their oldest brother to take care of them and keep them from being split up and put into foster care. The premise was very dark for a family comedy.
Yeah.
It was.
And so the whole family was on this show. And after that, Jussie had a few guest appearances here and there before starring in the indie gay film The Skinny in his early 30s, which co-starred friend of the pod.
Is that a genre, friend? Indie gay?
Is indie gay. Yeah, I think so.
No,
small
totally.
Town gay, little gay. And this is really interesting. A friend of the pod, Dustin Ross, co-starred in that short film as Jussie's partner, which is kind of fun. You might know him from The Friend Zone or from appearances on The Read. You also might have seen Jussie as a guest star on The Mindy Project and Revenge. But his star-making turn came when he got cast in Empire in 2014, playing Jamal Lyon, an openly gay musician fighting for his father's approval, playing opposite Terrence Howard and Taraji P. Henson. Did either of you watch Empire?
Oh, I watched Empire. I watched Empire, so the first season, we were really up for it. Drip, drop, drip, drippity, drop.
All day.
And, when he said that, bitch, we were living. Me and my cousin Eric would have these Empire themed dinners. So when it came on, I was living in Brooklyn at the time. My cousin is an excellent cook, so he would cook, and then I would make a themed cocktail for the evening, and we would have friends over, and we would watch Empire, and we would just cackle and have the best time. So I was fully invested in Empire in the beginning.
Yeah.
Then it went off the rails.
It did.
Real quick, though.
When it went so soapy, and it was we got a coma? We have a coma storyline already?
Right.
It got
and then
really
the memory
weird.
loss storyline? already?
Well, because the brother, the older brother had like, he was a little touched, right? He had like anger issues.
He
and
started
stuff.
like time traveling and turning into different people and being possessed by
you
voices.
Were so black. A little
it was so weird.
That's too much.
Black mental health. A little touch.
Totally. Listen, I watched the first season and I was into it because Issa Rae, I'm supporting everybody black. But then to your point, Francis says all the time, we're allowed to have bad and mediocre content as well, TV shows and whatever. But I just was like, oh, this is the one on prime time right now. And y'all, it just didn't go. It just didn't go. So Jussie is on Empire for 5 of its 6 seasons. And his storyline gets a ton of praise for its positive depiction of Black gay men on TV. Now, I'm not out here trying to give everybody their cookies, for doing the bare minimum because, when you're in the desert, toilet water seems like paradise. But
oh Lord, not the Dasani.
The bidet, okay? But just like as a Black man, it was amazing to see a character like that was fully realized, 3-dimensional, represented on TV. Not only that, Jussie's character Jamal was one of the first Black gay characters on primetime TV. So that meant a lot to me personally, which makes his fall from grace even more disappointing.
Yeah. And I wanted to just like flag even the fact that it is so rare to see real gay Black characters who aren't one-dimensional. So again, shout out to Harper and Laci's incredible portrayal, because that was really important to me as a queer woman in the writer's room, and making sure that she had hobbies and interests. And Laci, I'm curious to just hear from you how being able to portray a queer, fully actualized woman on TV has kind of been an important part of your journey, and what that's meant to your audience and your fans.
So for me, Fran, what you did in that writer's room and not making me, this is the term I always use for this, like not making me flouncy Magoo. Which is what I call a gay character who's just like, I'll give a one-liner.
Yes.
I roll my neck.
And then I flounce out of the scene.
Out of the scene. Flouncy. Okay. Like, not just being a one-dimensional character, for me, in the intersectionality of it all, like being a Black woman, being obviously a supportive character to Carly's main character, to Miranda Cosgrove. Like, there's so much, it's very treacherous not to fall into one trope or the other. So I really appreciated how you went to bat to make sure that I was an actualized Black woman, but I was also an actualized queer woman. And I really feel like when we see characters like that, it starts to break down the stereotypes that have poisoned people's minds about queer people. It's not always, look, it's so important to show the struggles that queer people go through, but I think it's also important to show them just living their lives and just being a part of a universe without having to be entrenched in struggle. And I think that also walks hand in hand with Blackness. Like, we don't always just have to be at the mercy of the white man or being whipped or being beaten, and now that they've eliminated, any kind of history about this country in school, I guess we got to put on 12 years of slave for everybody.
Oh, girl.
Right.
But like, it's so important, and people think that, like, when we say important, I feel like these are starting to all become dog whistles because white people keep weaponizing our language. But the truth of the matter is that it's the truth. And so when you eliminate queer people from spaces, you are telling a lie. You're like, when you go outside and you in Brooklyn, shout out to girls, and you don't see nary a Negro, nary a Rican, like no Asians.
Yeah.
Who running the bodegas?
It changes people's understanding. Yeah, and it changes people's understanding of our world. It makes it harder for them to empathize with us. It makes it harder for them to see us as people.
Humans.
Yeah.
And so I'm so thankful that we had somebody like you who was also committed to the authenticity of a character, because sometimes you write the lines and then it goes off and they interpret it however they want, and they can put that sauce on it and do the things that make it a little bit too much. And again, it all is a stark reminder of the responsibility that we as diverse intersectional people have. And again, it makes what happened with Jussie and that character even more heartbreaking.
Well, and the one thing I really dealt with Empire and enjoying a character that, again, that's 3-dimensional and fully realized, like Jussie's was, like Jamal, is that like we don't often have that conversation in the Black community that about like, you know, I'm part of two communities, right? I feel a lot of I experience a lot of racism in the gay community with you know, in white spaces. But in Black spaces, like I don't feel the most comfortable being gay. So to have that conversation internally on a TV show, I think meant everything. And again, what just makes what he tainted in terms of his legacy even more tragic. Just another factoid, Jussie received multiple award nominations for his portrayal of Jamal. So he got an Emmy nomination, a BET nomination, Teen Choice, NAACP. You
BET
really
is
fucked it
big.
up.
Yeah.
He really
Yeah, that was
messed
a
it up.
really big deal.
It's
they
bigger
really
than the Emmys because they are very queerphobic. They are
Yeah.
very homophobic.
Yeah.
Like
heartbreaking.
Pose not getting invited to the BET Awards, none of the cast not being nominated.
They
not
weren't
even being
invited at
no,
all?
that was the insult to the injury. Not nominated, but also not invited.
I remember
Wow.
when B. Scott was a commentator for BET and they didn't want to put B. Scott on the red carpet because B. Scott is androgynous, you know?
Wow.
And that was, again, it was that thing of like, okay, we'll give you a little bit, but we can't give you all of it. Like we're doing, you know, half and half sort of thing. So you're right. It was a really big deal for Jussie to get nominated by BET.
Yeah.
It was. And also just the last point here, like white people, close your ears. This is for us. But Black folks, we have to realize that a lot of people in our community have been notoriously homophobic for a long time, which don't make no damn sense because who has been out here fighting for rights of Black people the entire time on the front lines? Your Marsha P. Johnsons, your James Baldwin.
Talk about it.
Please don't act like Black liberation didn't also involve queer people helping because they are at the intersection and also because they are here for liberation in general, as Black people in general are, leaders at least. So we have to stop. And I think this kind of branches out to all minorities. Like everybody, like, I think this is James Baldwin, like everybody needs a nigga, or is this Paul Mooney?
Oh no,
But
I think the
Paul
Baldwin
Mooney,
quote
everybody
is
wants to be a nigga except a nigga.
No,
like,
not that one. It's
what is
everybody needs a nigga. Like, so if you are marginalized, you're looking for someone else who's lower than you to oppress. And so if you are Black and you are cis het, then you're looking at not obviously not all Black folks, not all, but like you're looking for someone else to oppress. And it's really disheartening because like the goal should be to lift us all up where we belong. So, you know, let's just, with Empire, I really enjoyed that, like, even if you were kind of like, or were homophobic or whatever as a Black person or as anybody, people still watch the show because it was so entertaining. And so maybe we got to like permeate their brains with something a little bit.
They had
you
to
know?
deal with it. Like,
and that's why
right
it's upsetting that Jussie did this, because you were
rooting for him.
I hate to thrust like I hate to thrust morality on performers, because the truth is just like, if my mechanic down the street, I found out he was like, you know, doing crime or was a creep or a weirdo, I wouldn't be like, I looked up to you and Abilene.
And now you fixed my car, and now I don't want my car to be fixed by you anymore.
I gotta burn my car now. I gotta get on YouTube and shoot my car because you did this to me. Like every other profession doesn't have morality thrust upon them. However, unfortunately, when you choose to be so visible and in such a way that is so unique and so groundbreaking, you do have a responsibility. And he, you know,
he made it about him. He made it about him. One of the things that also made his role on Empire such a revelation was that it showcased Jussie's talents as a musician. Not only was he singing and dancing on the show, he also co-wrote 2 songs in season 1, I Wanna Love You and You're So Beautiful. Not long after, in 2015, Jussie announced that he had signed a record deal with Columbia Records. Now, in my opinion, IMO, I Wanna Love You kind of sounds like a babyface Jodeci reject, like, you know, a throwback that got left on the cutting room floor. But You're So Beautiful, it's kind of a bop in the first part of it. The first part of it, I'm like, yes, give it to me.
Do you remember this song, Laci?
I need a refresher.
Okay, don't worry, because we're going to get into it. So just to set the stage, in the episode, there's some family drama about doing an album together, and there's a lot of tension between Jamal, Jussie's character, his brother Hakeem, and their dad Lucius. And Jamal is really struggling with how to come out to his family. And is when his father says, put the bad blood behind them and put it in the music, that inspires Jamal to perform a new arrangement of the song at the Empire Records' infamous White Party. And then it goes into a flashback of him putting on his mother's high heel shoes and Terrence Howard finding him and throwing him into a garbage can.
In a garbage can?
Yeah, he throws him in a trash can.
Why in a trash can?
It's
a
just
metaphor.
like it's a little, yes. It's
I'm
very
dead.
heavy-handed.
It's deep. Have you ever been in the kiddie pool? It's deep.
It was a little bit too much. So the first half is a bop, but then it just was awkward and weird and a little too messagey. And you've got Terrence Howard looking down on him and being angry, and it doesn't work for me.
They could have just did it with pronouns. If he had just been like, when I kiss you, boy, you know, like, or whatever, that would have done it.
Instead of
but
man
they had
loves
to be
a
like,
man.
this a kind of song that make a man love a man. And then also, why is it saying the song is gonna make a man love a man?
Right. Turns out
that's giving propaganda. Like you trying to say the gays trying to make people gay. And I honestly feel like as the gay, we're not trying to welcome nobody over here. Like you know, the community's pretty cute. We have the best fashions.
There's no more room in the inn. We are.
You need to leave. Like we don't want y'all over here.
It also just like taunts the character. Taunts Terrence Howard's character. This kind of just have a sit down. It's like we say for all the time, Francis all the time. Have the conversation online. Sit down with your dad and try to have as many conversations as you need to. Don't do it in public when you're releasing an album. Like, why would you do that?
I'm fine with him having the song and the pronouns being about a man. Like, listen, Frank Ocean has a lot of amazing music about being in love with a man, and I love that shit. It's just that they went so heavy with it.
Yeah,
but I mean, the show was soapy. Lee Daniels is a mess. You know, whatever.
Right. So more on Jussie's music career. In 2018, he drops his first solo album, Some of My Music, some spelled S-U-M of My Music, right? Which, you know, like Fran loves a pun, but it's giving clever kid in the class versus saying anything substantive about the album.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to be the pun police, but the title feels like a misnomer because it's like supposed to be a play on words. Some means the total. So is he saying this album is all of his music? Like, don't expect another album. This is it. This all I got.
He have another one. So.
Well, exactly.
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
Okay, exactly.
I'll speak to the insecurity of someone who is an actor who wants to secretly still do music.
Yes.
And I feel like I have the same type of voice as Jussie. I feel like I would have done really well in the 90s. What's it gonna be? It's a little nasally. I can't pretend. Like, I would have killed it in the 90s. But, like, now, like, I don't know. I could, like, avocado, I guess. But, like, some of my music to me sounds like I'm not trying to, like, over deliver or over, you know, sell and underperform. It's just like, here y'all go. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's good. It's stupid. Like, you know, in the writer's room, like, you'll be like, here's a bad pitch. It's like that's the title. The title is like, here's a bad pitch. And maybe I'm off pitch.
No, here's the thing. I do think that Jussie has a good voice. And so I wouldn't say, you know, I think that you have a good voice too. And I do think there's something to be said for like strong throwback 90s vibes. For him, I think the issue was always the writing wasn't strong enough for what he was giving us. I think he wanted these songs to be deep, and they're just not very deep. And
I'll say, like, it's not the music production of the album, because I listened to it, so you didn't have to. So we all are going to talk about it. It's
researcher, a journalist.
You know, ready. We go deep here on Let Me Fix It, right? Research. It's just the lyrics, like you're alluding to, Fran. Insecurities is the first track on the album, and the lyrics are just on the nose, to put it kindly.
Now I will say there has been a growing trend that in music now, like, we've dissolved the metaphors. It's just like, my pussy pink, my booty hole brown. and I love it, like, pound tabs, I'm looking for the hoes, quit playing it, comes like a bitch toes. Like, it is kind of fun.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, I feel like because of the consumerism and like commercialism of music and how they don't care about artist development anymore, and they just want to TikTok plays and they just want to get the streams and then they'll throw you away, that he wasn't wrong on the trend. It feels a little narcissistic. It feels like he's so into himself, but he also is very aware that his creative strengths are lacking a little bit. And I think Journey be hitting on that a little bit. And I don't think it's her fault, but when you have a sister who's more successful than
I
you,
can only imagine.
Right.
I can only imagine.
And like, when you living in her shadow, because like, honestly, if you say Jussie before he did the fake thing, honestly, even after, they still gonna call you Johnny Smollett's brother.
It's so true. But listen, I would also argue that's a gift. Yo, I am famous adjacent. Shit, I'm Franchesca's my best friend. I am famous adjacent.
Right. And and you're right, Laci, that it's different when it's your sibling and they've been on TV shows together and they've walked red carpets and she's been nominated for awards and magazine covers and blah, blah, blah. And trying to carve your own lane is hard enough as a Black person, as a queer person, but with another famous sibling, it's really difficult. I can only imagine.
I can't say any describing details because somebody will figure it out. But I worked with a sibling of a very famous person on a show, and he has cut that. They have their own fame in their own right. It's nowhere near as big, but they work enough. And I remember working with them for a while. I didn't mention the sibling because I don't know. I don't want to be weird, right? But then there was like a natural conversation where the sibling kind of would come up and I said something and they completely just like shut up. They did not want to talk about their sibling.
Wow.
And you know what I mean? So it's like, if you're in someone's shadow and you want to do the same thing, it's like, either you got to be, I guess in their minds, you got to be Janet and Michael, or, you know what I mean? But you don't want to be Tito.
Yeah. Blink twice if it was Frankie Grande.
The thing
I think Frankie is enjoying his life. I think Frankie one of those who's like, do y'all not know my sister Ariana?
Frankie is.
You want me to put my ponytail up right now and get my sleeves out, bitch? Don't play with me.
No one can tell which one of us is younger. We can all tell. We can all tell.
Listen, Frankie out here getting his. I'm
not mad at him. I'm not mad at him.
Solange is a good one too, where Solange made her own lane, and then you start to see Beyonce's fashion, because Beyonce, I love her to death. She is my queen, but she's never been a fashion girly. But then you start to see when Solange, like when The Seat at the Table came out and like all of that, like you start to see Beyonce be like, look at my little sister. She know the young things.
Hell yeah.
Right.
Let me get into that bag with her. And that's how I am with my little sister. My little sister is Gen Z and she is very much about all the trends. And I'll be like, I'll send her pictures of my outfits like, is this good, girl? And like, yeah, like what's going on? And like, so that's our relationship. I'm like, let me get some of what you got going on. And so, but you know, that works. But yeah, if you're envious of not, or if it makes you feel less than that you're not as successful, then you're in a rough place.
Well, and Jussie had like really just begun creating his own lane until he took a big shit on it, right? But Insecurities, back to the album, Insecurities for me is like, it's like a journal entry, right? It just like, it's not, it feels
rambling.
Like it's like rambling, fishing for compliments. So Insecurities is not the bop on some of my music. Some of my music being Jussie's album. But don't worry, there is more. There is so much more. Okay, so I'm going to run through really quickly my assessment on all the tracks. So track number 2 is Catch Your Eye featuring Swiss Beats, which, guys, made me want to be Alicia Keys. I don't really come for Swiss Beats like that, but the voice on it, I was like, oh, I get it, Alicia. I'll give you a couple of kids too, Swiss.
I've hung out with Swiss. He's very nice.
Okay.
Yeah, I was at a day club in Vegas, like maybe I was like freshly 21, and me and my girlfriends, like they're just like really hot girls, and we would just go everywhere and get everything for free, and like we would go to Vegas with like no money and stay at one of our friends' grandma's timeshare and just like hit the strip, and everyone just paid for everything. I don't know, I can't explain it, but there was a time where I was at a day club where they shut the day club down, and we were like, oh, okay, like the party's over. It was at a very popular hotel. I'm trying to remember the one, but whatever. And so they shut the party down, and then we were leaving and, you know, gonna regroup and get lunch with whoever. And they stopped us and they were like, don't leave, like you stay. And we were like, what? And it was like 4 of us, 5 of us. And then
wait, I'm sorry, Laci. Can I just jump in for 1 second? So we're at 48 minutes.
I'm sorry. I'm interrupting.
It's okay. I want to make sure that you're good on time.
Oh, I'm great.
Okay, I want to make sure that you're good on time, and then I don't want to cut off your story. But Delon, I was just going to jump in and say, can we speed through this part because we haven't.
let's skip all the tracks.
That's
I think
what
we got
I tried to strike. I tried to strike it. I tried to strike it, and
I mean, I have to be at the studio, but I don't have to be there until.
Yeah, I don't have an out, but I just want to make sure because we haven't even gotten to the actual.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm derailing.
No. It's
2:30. I have to be at the studio, but the studio is 7 minutes away, so I'm
okay.
good.
Yeah, don't apologize, Delon. I just went ahead and struck all the song stuff. Is that okay?
Great. Yeah, and we'll start with you with Columbia Records.
Okay,
thing,
perfect.
Right?
All right, cool. Sorry about that, Laci. I just want to make sure that we're good on, that we're good on your time and that we can get through this. Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I was late.
No problem.
Okay,
sorry
great.
about that.
All right. So in 2017, Jussie's record deal with Columbia Records fell through, and that was the beginning of Jussie's star beginning to fade. While Empire put him on the map, he was not booking some of those significant roles outside of the show like his co-stars were. And when subsequent seasons of Empire became redundant, less shiny, and viewership began to fizzle, so did Jussie's character Jamal's storyline.
Cut to 2019, aka the year of the worst PR stunt ever. Okay, we're about to give you the full timeline of Jussie Smollett hate crime hoax. It's so ridiculous. But before we do that, before we jump into the weeds, we're going to take a little break. We'll be right back. All right, let's dig into the timeline of Jussie Smollett's hate crime hoax. So this first starts with Jussie the victim. So January 29th, 2019, according to Jussie, at 2 p.m. in the dead of winter in Chicago.
2 a.m.
Excuse me.
Sorry.
Did I say 2 p.m.?
Yeah, you did.
Okay. So it starts with Jussie the victim, first section. January 29th, 2019. According to Jussie, at 2 a.m. in the dead of winter in Chicago, he leaves his apartment to get a Subway sandwich. On his way home, two masked men wearing MAGA hats, Make America Great Again, Donald Trump, allegedly punch him, throw bleach on him, yell racial and homophobic slurs at him, and they throw a noose around his neck. After he calls the Chicago PD, who announce their official... After that, he calls the Chicago PD, who announce an official investigation into Jussie's alleged attack.
Okay, next day, January 30th, everybody comes to his support. Viola Davis, Kamala Harris, AOC, Naomi Campbell, his Empire co-stars. Everybody is chiming in on him being attacked. I will admit, I was also one of the people who shared, in support, right? When it happened, we were all just like, this is terrible. We have to stand up and support him.
Well, which just makes it seem like you preyed on us. You really preyed on our emotions here.
There was no reason for us to not believe that it had happened.
So next day, January 31st, 2019, Chicago PD wants to check Jussie's phone in order to corroborate Jussie's telling of the events during the attack. According to Jussie, he was on his phone with his manager during the attack, but when cops ask for his phone, Jussie refuses to hand it over, thus raising suspicions. Mm-hmm. I mean, are you guys handing over your phones? Your whole
phone?
Are
you guys getting a Subway sandwich in the Chicago winter at 2 a.m.?
At 2 a.m.?
You want to eat fresh at 2 a.m. in the winter?
And I will call myself out. I have recently been dabbling in the Subway sandwiches. I will admit they are tasty. Jared sullied the name, but the brand, the sandwiches are still good in my opinion. But at 2 a.m.? Absolutely.
Fran, after you talked about that Subway sandwich, I went and got one 2 days later, and I was like, she's right. It still hits. It still hits.
The meatball subs still be busting. I won't lie. Okay, put a little bit of white cheese on it.
Come on.
But I just it was curious to me, and I remember saying to my friend, because I don't say things publicly if they need to be in a group chat or to a friend. I was like, somebody write about this, and I think he's lying. And I literally did say that before anything came out.
Yeah, that was when it got weird. So then February 1st, Jussie speaks out and says that he's okay. And in a statement, he says, the outpouring of love and support for my village has meant more than I will ever be able to truly put into words. And I'm working with the authorities and have been 100% factual and consistent on every level.
When you have to say I've been 100% factual and consistent, you're red flag, right? You're literally letting us know that something's not right. So February 2nd, 2019, at a concert that evidently had already been planned for some time before the attack, Jussie reads a statement at a packed house at the Troubadour in West Hollywood. I want us to take a listen to this because I think you have to hear it in his tone, right? His own voice. Mm-hmm. But it just gives even more question mark, suspect. Let's listen to that real quick.
I was bruised, but my ribs were not cracked. They were not broken. I went to the doctor immediately. Frank Gatson drove me. I was not hospitalized. Both my doctors in LA and Chicago cleared me to perform, but said to take care, obviously. And above all, I fought the fuck back.
And wait for it, this is my favorite.
I'm waiting.
I'm the gay Tupac.
The gay Tupac.
Do you even understand the reference?
Preacher voice he's doing. He's doing this like, I'm like an activist. I'm like a thought leader, right? It's very strange.
Jesse Jackson, very Jesse Jackson.
Justin Jackson. And I take it back. This was the moment where I told my friend that something was weird about this. Because I, like you, Fran, supported in the beginning. And then when I heard I'm the gay Tupac, I said, now wait a damn minute. And I was already confused because one of the details when the police came to him was that he was still wearing the noose.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Why you ain't take the noose off, my guy?
He wanted them to see it.
There's a quote we have coming up where he's like, I just wanted you to see it. And the cop was like, you don't want to take that off?
It was very strange.
Wearing it like Cuban links, sir.
Yeah. So following after that performance, February 11th, Jussie turns over a PDF of his phone records after initially refusing, but some of the files are redacted, and the police say there is no reason at that time to suspect any wrongdoing from Jussie. So
I'm suspecting wrongdoing.
We were still kind of like, what's going on at this point?
Right. So February 14th, 2019, two brothers, Obabinjo Ola and Abimbola Abel Osundario, are arrested and interviewed as persons of interest. The two worked as extras on Empire and had been known to take Jussie to the gym to train him. In the raid, the police seize a blackface mask, Empire script, phone receipts, a red hat, and bleach from the brothers. So all of the things that Jussie said were used in the attack. That same day, Jussie goes on Good Morning America, and he is interviewed by Robin Roberts, and that same day, Jussie does a Good Morning America interview with Robin Roberts and suggests that the alleged attackers were white. He says, quote, if I had said the attackers were Muslim or Mexican or someone black, I feel like the doubters would have supported me a lot much more. The language, a lot much more. Got it. On his refusal to hand over his phone, he says, I have private pictures and videos and numbers, my private emails, my private songs, my private voice memos. I would add, your dick pics because everybody's got them, right? And
trying to plug the music, my private songs.
Okay.
My gay Tupac evidence.
Well, oh God. Speaking through tears, he said to Robin, gay people should learn to fight these kinds of attacks.
I mean, listen, all of these things, on the one hand, it is true that people are going to be more fired up if a suspect is a person of color, right? Mm-hmm. And take some shit seriously. But at the same time, that's why it feels super icky that he said that, right? It's just like, so at this point, the Chicago police are saying that they have no evidence to support reports of the attack. And it's starting to appear that the whole thing was staged. On February 6th, the Osandrio brothers are released.
Okay, and then let's get to Jussie, the suspect. So February 14th, 2019, Chicago PD announced that there has been some developments in this investigation, and they want to talk to Jussie. In a statement through his lawyers, Jussie says he's angered and devastated by recent reports that the perpetrators are individuals he's familiar with. Then on February 20th, 2019, Jussie is charged with disorderly conduct and filing a false police report. 20th Century Fox, makers of Empire, then say that they're evaluating the situation and considering our options. So he's about to lose that job.
That's when you really felt the shift turning because unfortunately, there are celebrities who get caught with their hand in the cookie jar all the time and they still keep their job. So the fact that the network was like, we looking into this.
Well, this was my secret tea for y'all.
Okay, and if there's anything that you want us to cut,
No, I know how to redact in my mind.
Okay.
So I was shooting Better Call Saul in Arizona, and I met an actor who is on Empire, and me and my homegirl, we just were, there's nothing to do where we were. So we would just like go to dinner and stuff. And so they told us that basically the set was so tense because they were trying to roll into syndication, which is 100 episodes. And if you know, syndication means that like the episodes will rerun, you'll get your residual checks at the network. So there's a lot of money on the line, right? When all of this happened with Jussie. And it got to the point where things were so tense between him and Terrence Howard that they could not have them film scenes together. And they couldn't be on set at the same time. Wow. And everyone down to the key grips, down to, I mean, and I don't mean down like down lower, but I mean just like everybody on these sets, they went from being in full support of him to so angry when details started to come out that it became a disruption, his presence being there.
Yeah.
Damn.
And I heard that from somebody who like is, if I said the name, you would know exactly who they are on the show.
Well,
so,
obviously the tensions were high and they felt like they needed to respond because on February 22nd, Jussie is suspended from Empire and the studio releases a statement saying that the allegations against him are, quote, disturbing. February 25th, reporters get a hold of a $3,500 check allegedly paid to one of the Osendario brothers for the attack. Now, the check was written out for a 5-week nutrition and workout program, which is a little expensive. A little expensive for 5 weeks.
I mean, it sounds like implants to me.
It sounds like that's not Ozempic. Then what are we talking about?
Okay.
It is giving Ozempic numbers, pre-Ozempic numbers.
So March 14th, Jussie pleads not guilty because he's now a suspect and is released on $10,000 bond. March 26th, after an emergency court appearance, all charges are suddenly dropped against Jussie. However, the Chicago PD and the mayor of Chicago at the time, Rahm Emanuel, stand by their case. The police superintendent said, "At the end of the day, it is Mr. Smollett who committed this hoax, period. He wanted to clear his name. At the end of the day, it is Mr. Smollett who committed this hoax, period. If he wanted to clear his name, the way to do it is in the court of law, so everyone can hear the evidence. I stand by the facts of what we produced." On March 27th, Chicago mayor calls the case a whitewash of justice. And Joe, I want to say Magotz, but it could be maggots. Joe Magotz, the prosecutor who decided to drop the case, tells CBS he thinks Jussie is guilty. In the end, Jussie has to forfeit his $10,000 bond and agreed to do community service.
March 29th, the Chicago PD orders Jussie pay $130,000 to cover the cost of the police officers and the overtime worked on the bogus case. In April, after refusing to pay the $130,000, Jussie is sued by the Chicago PD for the funds. And then in April, at the end of April, on the 30th, Empire is renewed for a 6th and final season, and it is announced that Jussie's character, Jamal, will not return. So, even though the case had been dropped, it was feeling like people just did not want to touch him or that situation. The
brand was tainted.
Absolutely. So June 24th, Chicago PD releases body cam video of the night's alleged attack. In the video, Jussie is wearing rope fashioned like a noose around his neck. The officer asks him, "Do you want to take that? Do you want to take it off or anything?" And Jussie responds with, "Yeah, I do. I just wanted you to see it."
So that, listen, you can't put yourself in someone else's shoes, but if it wasn't a hoax and you put a noose around my neck,
take it off.
I'm taking it off immediately. I'll keep it as evidence, but you're hanging out with it around your neck?
Yeah.
So let's get to Jussie the convict. February 12th, 2020, a special prosecutor is assigned to investigate how the case was handled and how the charges were made. Jussie is then charged with 6 counts of lying to police. November 29th, 2021, the trial begins. Prosecutors allege that Jussie staged the attack because he was dissatisfied with his salary and wanted to create publicity. They claim that he created a secret plan to appear as the victim of a hate crime perpetrated by Donald Trump supporters, which were then the Osendario brothers. He paid them that $35,000 check to execute the attack. In court, Jussie denies the attack was a hoax, and he says he initially didn't call the police because, quote, "As a black man in America, I don't trust the police. I'm sorry." I hear you, but it's fucked up that you're weaponizing this stuff like this, man.
Yeah. Listen, I have the same feeling when shit's going down that I think, should I call the police? Like, Are the police going to get here and shoot me? Are the police going to come and put me in handcuffs, right? Like, it's a really valid fear, and it's so upsetting to say something, again, that is real, but in an instance where the facts just don't line up.
Right.
And also the fact that he said, like, didn't he say that the MAGA people were like, well, you're that F word from Empire or something?
Yep.
And it's like, so you think people who are trying to make America great again are watching Empire? Like,
right.
You think they know who you are? And also, you think that they knew at 2 a.m. you was going to go eat fresh? So they were waiting.
They were parked outside your apartment?
And come on now.
It just,
it's too much.
like all of the elements, when you start putting everything together, it just feels... And no shade, but a little bit of shade. It feels like actors doing a first draft of a pilot script.
Yes.
And they just like, we need some action. This is gonna happen. And none of it's actually motivated. None of it's
vomit draft.
It's a vomit draft. It needed a punch up. It needed
That's what actors say, like, oh, well, we do lots of improv on set. And it's like, no, you don't do any improv. You actually don't. Like, I do improv, and I don't even say that shit because writers write the stuff, and then if I get inspired, it's still the writer. Like, but they'll be like, oh, we actually came up with that ourselves. Like, girl.
No. You definitely needed a writer to be helping you craft this idea.
Real bad.
So December 9th, Jussie is found guilty on 5 of the 6 counts he was charged with after 1 day of jury deliberations. March 11th, 3 years after the hoax attack. March 11, 2022, 3 years after the hoax attack, Jussie is sentenced to 5 months in jail, 30 months probation, and is ordered to pay a fine of $145,000. March 16th, after being in jail only 6 days, Jussie is released on a $150,000 bond as he appeals his case. So where is Jussie today?
Can I just say really quick, though?
Yeah, go ahead.
So the police asked him, they were like, hey, we think this was a hoax. Listen, agree to disagree, okay? You pay us for the labor. You pay us $130,000 for the labor. Jussie said, no, fuck y'all. Then he ends up paying close to, what is it?
150.
200,
145 and then 150.
$300,000 because of his stubbornness. Just pay the money and like let it all go away.
Yeah.
The end.
He had political connections, though, right?
He did.
So I think he might have been arrogant about it.
I think that the stubbornness at the end of the day, the fact that he has never admitted to anything, and that's his right, of course.
Sure.
But he's really dug his heels in, and he's never said that he participated in this. He's said that it's real from the start, and he has now had to pay all of this money for wasting the police's time and getting out on bond. And so now I want to just ask us, so now where is Jussie today? Well, after a long hiatus from social media and the spotlight, in 2021, Jussie co-wrote and directed the film B-Boy Blues. It was his directorial debut for BET+. The film is described as a class and culture clash when a college-educated journalist from Brooklyn and a homeboy bike messenger from Harlem fall in love.
Okay, gay story on BET.
Bike messenger. Not just a bike messenger. He's a homeboy.
Homeboy. Don't get it twisted.
He bike message like this.
Throwing gang signs he's riding.
This makes me old, but what makes him a homeboy is he has his speaker blaring on the
street. Okay, Radio Raheem.
So despite the film being well received and nominated for a whopping 34 GLAAD Awards in 2022, Jussie's career has yet to fully recover from the hate crime hoax, which is where we come in. So now that we've gone over Jussie Smollett's career, it's time for us to fix it. Okay, so I'm going to go first. And I'm just going to say, I think it's too late for him to have a redemption arc. The damage is done. If he was going to tell us the truth, it should have happened sooner rather than later. It's now been 3, almost 4 years. So I think that Jussie has to go full bad boy, a la Kanye West or Chris Brown. Really lean into the fuck the police angle, maybe do an independent film where he gets to be the villain. What is Jussie's Joker movie? Fully transform, put on 30 pounds of muscle, have a face tattoo, really go for it. Because I think the biggest problem beyond the lying is that he has an authenticity problem. We have no idea who he is, and the brand that he's selling, we are really not buying.
Well, not anymore. I mean, he tainted the brand. The brand is
Right.
just like a complete mess. I do hear you on the bad boy thing. Like, just completely flip the script and just like have a persona
Just be like, yeah, you
that I
hate
don't
me
give
and
a
I
fuck.
hate you back. Like,
Yeah, I don't give a fuck. A very, very Omarosa, right?
yes.
Very Omarosa.
Yes. Own it.
Yeah, Laci, do you? Oh wait, Fred, we weren't done. Sorry.
I wanted to say one more thing. I also thought if he wasn't going to go the bad boy angle, maybe he could go the philanthropic angle and do some sort of like scholarship program for Black queer writer directors. And like the subtext is, I'm giving back and I've learned so much and I want to help other creatives stay out of trouble and follow their dreams. So he doesn't say like, I got into trouble.
Right.
He's more like, you know, other people need me and I'm going to give back. And I think by like not taking up space, again, being an executive producer on a project, being just the director and letting somebody else have the spotlight would be a way for him to slowly work his way back.
Well, and taking that moral high ground is like almost unimpeachable, right? You can be like, yeah, you can talk about me, but look at what I'm doing, right?
Yes.
I'm doing something to change, to flip the script. Laci, we wanted to throw it to you and see, do you have a fix off the top of your head of anything that...
I do.
What
yes.
you got?
I think he needs to write a book. And it can be about his life and a memoir or whatever, but at some point it needs to detail exactly how he planned and laid out this entire scam. And let's call it a bad Black gay. And I want 30% of the proceeds to go to GLAAD.
Thank you. Yes,
and
Laci.
I want him to be like, look, I did something shitty and people are shitty and I'm going to stand in the fact that I lied and people do not do that. I'm going full Will Jada. I want mess. I think if he gives us red table mess and then it's like, yo, like I still want to have a career. I still want to have fun with the girls. I still want a dollar bill. Y'all drip, drop, drip, drip, drop. Like, I still want to do those things. I feel like nobody ever fully owns it.
It
and
never happens.
Could make a full new lane of like, look, I'm the bad guy. Yeah. And like be the bad guy. And then be like, look, I'm trying to be good, but I don't know. I still might be bad later. I can't make no promises. And like, I feel like that is so titillating and something the public has never seen, that they will latch onto it so hard. And he could choose to be the good guy after that, but it doesn't matter because after that, he could book every little bad guy role, every little weird, you know, whatever.
People would eat it up. People would, everyone would read that book. It would be a bestseller for sure. He would get to do lots of press. Everyone would want to sit down with him. I think everyone. And I think you're smart to mention the Will and Jada of it all, because Will took a long time off and then he came back after the slap with a book. He did the press. He said, I fucked up. And then guess what? We forgave him and moved on. And I think that you're right. A book where you really own up to everything would be really smart.
With juicy details. I want him to be on the View.
Gets juicy.
Jussie gets juicy.
And he tells us from start to finish how he hatched the plan, how he got the hot trainers, like every little detail down to the sandwich he ordered at Subway. And
you know what? And then
I think read it. I'm gonna read it.
And then I think he takes the brand even further and goes and becomes the Tabitha Brown and is like, YouTube, Jussie gets juicy. I'm making all kind of juices. Come sit with me for an hour. And he just has a little show on YouTube.
He becomes an influencer? That is actually very smart.
Why
because
not?
Then you don't have to rely on anybody else to give you a job. And people will watch out of just morbid curiosity.
Yes, like a train wreck. So my fix is I don't think truly Jussie can truly revamp his career and regain public trust at all until he admits and has like a full mea culpa. But to Fran's point, we've talked about this. I just don't think that's going to happen. Like he's like his feet are like his roots are so planted right now that he can't. But to your fix, Laci, about memoir, mine was the same thing. I think he needs to write a memoir, but I think it needs to be like a life memoir. And there's one chapter that goes through the evidence bit by bit and explains how he's innocent, and or he just admits it. He just says, I did it, and then it's done. And I don't, because it's just going to be lingering your entire life. At best, you got another 40 years to live. You're just going to double down and lie about it for the rest of your days.
Wait, Delon, share your title idea for his memoir, because I think this was really funny.
Yeah, so absent a full confession, I said his memoir should be named Agree to Disagree. Yeah, I know a book is coming. It has to be coming. My other fixes were he's directing, so like become a less visible person in Hollywood, a writer, a director, right? And ghostwrite some music, right? Cardi B has all them ghostwriting rappers, just like
he can't write for himself.
I
I
can't really.
I
That was bottom of the barrel for me. I was just scraping it there, but yes.
Yeah, if you gonna ghostwrite, Jussie, pull out the Ouija board and let the ghosts write for you.
Casper, where you at? Get on the track.
Dead. So now it's time for our favorite segment, The Glow Up, where we give props to those who have turned themselves around without our help. I will go first on this one. So Broadway musicals are becoming movies again, but they're using their own intellectual property. Let me explain. Broadway musicals, I'm a Broadway guy, theater, things, all Delon. Broadway musicals have always been movies, but they've been staged to screen. So Oklahoma, Cabaret, Sweet Charity, Meet Me in St. Louis. Those are bygone times, but most recently, Chicago the musical, if we remember that, starring Catherine Zeta-Jones and what's that other woman's name?
Renee Zellweger.
Renee Zellweger
on her
and
third
Richard
face, because that was we know she's different now.
I like that one.
I did too.
Me too.
This recent one was she was drunk when I
She
first saw it. I was
settle
like,
in. It's gonna settle in, and then it's gonna be like Madonna got her face together.
Madonna's new face looks like her old face.
Yeah, she got it right.
Agree to disagree.
No. You haven't seen it. You haven't seen it recently.
The new one.
She has a new one. She has a new one.
Are the cheeks deflated?
They took it down.
Yeah, she looked like the guy from Saw, and now she don't look like that.
She looked an absolute mess.
She looks good now. It looks pretty good. And to Laci's point, you obviously have to let it rest. You can't be back on the red carpet fresh off the table. You got to let it. You got to chill for a minute.
You got to let it marinate a little bit. So Chicago was a big movie musical. Dreamgirls, obviously we know that one. Jennifer Hudson, Beyonce. Les Mis was another one with Anne Hathaway.
Anika Noni Rose. Sorry, I have to say Anika Noni Rose.
Thank you, Anika Noni Rose. My heart. Thank you so much, Laci. But on Broadway, we're going through this era, and I hope we're coming out of it of like taking movies and making them musicals. So like they're just tapping into our nostalgia bones. So Beetlejuice the musical, Tootsie the musical, Mrs. Doubtfire the musical, Some Like It Hot, Mean Girls the musical, Color Purple the musical. But with Mean Girls and with Color Purple, they were movies, and then they became musicals, and now they're becoming musical movies.
Yes.
And so, like, first of all, there are more ideas out there, so let's tap into those. But I think it's that's my glow up. They're taking their own IP and making them, musicals on film. The one that is highly anticipated this year is Wicked. It's coming out in 2024, November 2024. Wicked with Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo, which is going to be in 2 parts, and I'm kind of mad about it.
It's already taking so long to cut it up into 2. Feels like
we don't need 2 parts. We could just do 1. And Daylan, just real quick, the only one that I would say to your point that I'm against is Titanic. Have you seen that off Broadway?
I have not yet, and my friend is a music director. I have to see the show.
It is so funny. So basically, it's a Celine Dion impersonator who's retelling the Titanic movie.
So it's called Titanic?
Yes. Yeah, with a Q.
Yes.
It's so good.
I was like, why is Laci mispronouncing Titanic?
I can't read.
I was like,
My Fantasia story. I can't read.
My God, that's so clever.
It's brilliant. It's
so
brilliant.
Cam, like, I'm not going to spoil it, but there is a scene where, like, they have the car sex scene with the hand. They bring out like a toy, like, Fisher-Price car to do that scene. It's so stupid. It's so fun. So Titanic, I would see that as a movie. And it's like Celine Dion, like, giving the whole story. And, like, she's not there, obviously. Like, it's amazing. But everything else, I am kind of tired. And no one wants to see a 2-part of Wicked. Like, come on now.
No.
Yeah, it's hard enough to get people into the theater one time to get them to come back. That's a lot.
Is it intermission? Like, is it like I watch the first part and then we OP and then we come back and the theater's still going at
No,
AMC?
I think they're doing it as like put out one and then a few months later, the second part is going to come out. I know.
And eventually I am going to go or just watch it on whatever streaming platform, but like I'm mad about it.
Yeah. All right, so my glow up this week is a celebrity throwback, Vanessa Williams. So I'm not sure if y'all remember this, but Vanessa Williams first broke onto the scene as the first Black winner of the Miss America pageant in 1984. And then she was forced to resign the title after Penthouse magazine purchased and published some unauthorized nude photos of her, which is fucked up for a lot of reasons, okay? Because she did not give the photographer permission to sell those photos. And then she gets slut shamed for somebody else violating her privacy. Okay. After that happens, not only did Vanessa go on to have a super successful career in film, TV, and music, she got a public apology from the Miss America pageant during their 2016 broadcast. Meanwhile, the Miss America pageant has struggled for relevancy and ratings, hitting an all-time low in 2019. And in 2021, they said, let's pull the plug, and they moved it to streaming. It's only online. You can't watch it on TV. Meanwhile, Miss Vanessa Williams is booked and busy. She was on Black Lady Sketch Show this past year, RuPaul's Drag Race, Broadway's POTUS, or Behind Every Great Dumbass Are 7 Women Trying to Keep Him Alive. She also published and narrated a children's book in 2020 called Bubble Kisses. So talk about a glow up and having the last laugh. Shout out to Vanessa Williams.
I will also say this thing about the Miss America pageant. I'm glad that like its star has begun to shine because like it was always problematic, right? Yes. And I get it's a scholarship program. It's like this, it's that. Thank you, right? But like I'm so glad that like that's one of the cultural things that we're like we're not doing this anymore. We're not going to make you starve yourself and parade.
And look at you in a bikini and say like you're the best.
And listen to you not be able to sing. And I am telling you, but
right, exactly.
That.
Imagine if you filled out FAFSA, you had to put on a swimsuit.
Show
like, you want a Pell Grant? You better put that pussy up here. Pussy for the Pell, honey.
Dead.
Oh my God, so, Laci, do you have a glow up this week?
I do have a glow up.
Yay.
Okay, so my glow up might still be a little problematic. I don't know. I'd have to look into them further. But I will say that one of the biggest glow ups that I've seen without really any media help has been Mike Tyson. Obviously, he was an abuser and he was like very violent and, you know, ate somebody's ear. And... Which did y'all know Mike Tyson has a line of vapes now that's about the ear? It's
What's it called?
Oh my God! I
want it to be called Chomp or something.
No, he got it's a hold on. We need this.
I'm googling right now.
It's like, you know, George Foreman had grills. Mike Tyson got vape.
It says Vape Tyson is what it's called. Tyson Heavyweight. Tyson
and he also got some weed that's like about the ear, and it's like they shape them like ears,
like ear gummies. No,
yes, but Mike Tyson obviously was violent and very problematic. But I remember I was listening to I wasn't listening to his podcast. I saw a clip of his podcast, but he had Lil Boosie on, and he was lecturing Lil Boosie down about homophobia and about
okay, Mike Tyson.
Broken clock.
Right. Maybe it's just a broken clock, but also about misogyny and stuff. And it's like when Mike Tyson is getting on your ass, even if you don't agree, you sit next to Mike Tyson, you don't want those hands. So Boosie just listened. And I was like, okay, maybe Mike is making a turn for the better. Now, I'm not going to stand on that. I do not know for sure if he's still on the up and up. But I saw that and I was like, look at you fixing yourself, because back in the day, you was living this life.
I will say that like, his problematic history is obviously not erased, but we do need men to call out other men, straight men specifically. And so like there is something to be said for that, especially, you know, kind of what we were talking about this whole episode. When it comes to homophobia, a lot of Black people do not want to have that conversation. And to see a hyper masculine man, again, does not excuse his history, does not, you know, mean that he is redeemed. But you have to admit that somebody like him speaking out against homophobia is going to change some people's minds who probably would never think about investigating where that's coming from.
Right. It's that calling in, right? If you're living the same Venn diagram with somebody else, calling them in and having a conversation to unpack the thing is a little less abrasive or a little less combative, right? It's like, no, let's just have a conversation about the thing, how I see the world,
I would argue this more. I think men are likelier to listen to men who they feel like could physically harm them real good than anybody else. So it's like if Mike Tyson telling you fucked up, and it's like, what you gonna say back to Mike?
Right.
He could be your ass.
Do you want to keep both ears? Okay.
Right. Exactly.
Right. So buff dudes, if you're sex positive, if you are not a bigot, like get out there and like muscle up on your friends and tell them misogyny is bad and homophobia is bad.
Please.
Do your part for us.
So, Classroom, that is our episode. But as always, we want to hear from you. Do you think Jussie Smollett was really the victim of a hate crime? Is there anything he could do to revamp his career now that the dust has settled? Hit us up on Instagram at FixItPod and let us know. And of course, you can always drop us a comment to suggest a TV show, a celeb, or brand that you want us to fix in the future.
And before we go, we have to give a huge thank you to our amazing guest, Laci Mosley. Please make sure to subscribe to the Scam Goddess podcast. Laci, where else can our listeners find you?
You can find me at DIVALACI Diva Laci on all platforms. And if you want to listen to Scam Goddess, it's available everywhere. And Chicago, look out. We're coming to your city.
Oh, yes. You're doing live shows.
I love it.
Seeing Laci in person. Listen, if you love her on the pod, I guarantee you she is 1,000 times better in person. Get those tickets so that you can be in the congregation, in the building. I am Franchesca.
I'm Delon, and this was Let Me Fix It.
Let me fix it.